Hey guys, welcome back to the TryMD Preparedness channel. I'm your host, Rick. Today we're going to be talking about coffee. So, you ever given any thought to what you would do in the event that the coffee supply was shorted or cut off? Hopefully you get stocked up like I am. This is not a ton of stuff that you see here, but actually these little instant coffees actually go a long way. Second question, what happens in a long-term grid down situation or a short-term grid down situation for that matter? What happens when you don't have coffee and when you don't have electricity and you need your coffee fix? Well, there's really two ways that you can still get your coffee in when you don't have power, and we'll get to those in a second. So before I get to that, most people nowadays are using these little pods, right, in their Keurig machine or their Cuisinart machine, and these things are actually obviously hugely popular and pretty convenient. Not convenient though if you don't have electricity, right? They come in all sorts of flavors, decaf, regular, and obviously half-calf varieties, but just the flavors and the options that you have out there. I think there's probably more options of these than there is, your standard run-of-the-mill, Maxwell House or Folgers, right? But anyway, so in the event that you have lost electricity, I told you that there were two main ways to get your coffee fix. Number one, I think is pretty obvious. Standard run-of-the-mill instant coffee, okay? For those of you that don't know instant, you do not need to brew this. It is freeze-dried coffee. All you need to do is mix it with hot water. So in a situation when you don't have electricity, you can boil or heat water other ways, right? You can use a pot on a barbecue grill or a pot or a pan on any number of propane type devices, and then you just obviously mix this in with your hot water and it makes a cup of coffee. The second way is if you need to utilize these things, if you're not a fan of instant or you don't have it, you can open up one of these little pods. It's just a little foil top on there, right? You can poke a hole in there, pull the lid off, and get yourself one of these. I think most of you know what this is. It's a French press. You literally just heat up water, much like you would in the case of instant coffee. You pour the grounds, after you poke a hole in this and tear the lid off, you pour the grounds in there, you fill this with water up to however high you want, with hot water up to about, I would say, no higher than right there. So you got to get this lid on. And then when you press this down, this French press, you press it slower than what I just demonstrated there. But the screen pushes the grounds down through the water and it brews it like instantly. So it's a very quick way to brew. Now you might need to toy around with the ratio on these things, the amount of water, how fast you push it down or how slow you push it down, but it would work. Okay, it would work. French presses are actually a really good way to have your coffee. It actually flavors them. Probably some people would argue it flavors them better than a standard brewed pot or just these little Keurig type pods as well. So there's your two main options: instant with hot water that you boiled on some sort of a propane stove or grill. If you don't have one, might be something that you want to get. I mean, in the I guess preparedness community, it's probably something that you should already have anyway. When you go camping, a pot and a lid in a campfire is another way to do that. You could bring one of these with you camping, and as long as you've got coffee grounds, regular grounds, which is what's in these pods, you're good to go, right? Now here's your run-of-the-mill standard coffee grounds, the same thing that's like in these little pods. Normally it comes in the big tubs. This one happens to be decaf because I'm primarily a decaf drinker. But yeah, so your regular coffee grounds, pour that into a French press with some hot water, press it down, you're good to go. In the event that there's shortages and you're not able to find this or you're not able to find this, a lot of other things will do. There's these, which are the same. These are the same as what's in here. but they're just little individual single packs, single cups. I don't remember how much they make. I think they make like 8 ounces. I usually take these with me when I travel because I like this stuff better than a lot of the hotel room coffees, depending on where I'm going to be staying. That brings me actually to my next point. Hotel room coffees, okay? Here's 3 different types of hotel room coffees. Usually when you open this, there is a thing in here that is kind of like a, it's like a stapled shut filter or like kind of sewn shut. You can usually put these right in a standard coffee pot and brew them. However, if you have any of these on hand, you can open up the contents of this and pour it into your French press just the same. Ignore the instant for a second. Same with these little coffee valets and these little coffee, they're kind of like coffee pods. This is just a kind of a smaller version of this. I'll show you both of these right now, and actually I'll just have these as my morning coffee tomorrow morning. So opening them right now is not going to, I'm not going to be wasting them. If I can find the section in which it opens. But anyway, yeah, these things here come with a little, I don't know, it's like the filter catch. And then this is just regular grounds that's in there. You could literally treat this like a tea bag and dip it in hot water and it'll make coffee. But I actually prefer, tomorrow morning I'll tear this open, I'll pour the grounds into there, and I'll add hot water and press it, and I'll be left with my cup of coffee. I won't actually put a lot of hot water in there because I won't know the ratio of this, but really it should work. These grounds should work in here with about probably 8 to 10 ounces of coffee. So I'll be drinking that one tomorrow morning. But this came from a hotel, someplace that I stayed. This happens to be decaf as well. Likewise, this is similar concept as what I just showed you. It's just shaped a little different. So I'll probably tear both of these open tomorrow and make them, you know, as my morning coffee tomorrow morning. So for people that go and stay at hotels, these things usually are complimentary. And generally speaking, if I'm staying at a hotel that has coffee up in the front lobby, that coffee is always, well, it's usually the same stuff that's what's in here, but it just tastes a little better and it's brewed in an actual pot. These are good to take with you because if you need them, you have them, and then you have them at home. You know, you can bring them home, and in a situation like where there might be a supply chain shortage, being stocked up on a few of these can't hurt, right? So, so these pods, this thing, which is like a bigger version of this makes 6 cups, but it's just a bigger one of these, whereas this makes like 1 cup. So these were obtained from hotels, right? When I've stayed at hotels. So you got your regular grounds and the pods. If you lose power, you can still use these in a French press just by opening them. You got the hotel style. You got your standard run-of-the-mill coffee grounds that you would get, you know, from a, from the store. If you are out of power, and you run out of milk or cream, this will do a pretty good job. And as you see on here, this is good till 2 of 24. And as I'm recording this video right now, we're in 4 of 22. So this is basically good for at least 2 years. And unopened, I imagine it would probably go a little beyond that as well. Just like all of these, much of these are all good. This one's good for 2 years from now. That's 1 of 24. Again, we're in 2022 right now at the beginning of the year. Sugar packets, creamer packets. These usually are at your hotels, or actually here's kind of like a jackpot, right? Have you ever hosted a meeting or a conference and you were in charge of buying the coffee for the people that are attending? And Dunkin' Donuts will give you these big, you know, kind of giant cardboard carafes, if you will, and then they'll just give you like thousands of these, and so many of them end up getting thrown away, just like with these stirs. These stirs were in that bag too, and I just didn't want them to fly out, but for this video's sake. But man, don't throw these things away. Keep them, bring them home, use them, put them with your prepper stash. All this that you see right here was from me when I travel staying at hotels. I mean, there's some in there that might have been like when I went to a Tim Hortons and got a coffee or whatever, and they threw 20 sugars in the bag, and I only asked for 3 or 4 or 2 or whatever. But these creamers, basically the same thing that's in here. this is a good way to just keep stocked up on stuff. You got your regular sugar, everybody knows. You got these is basically just this, but just you can buy these individual on your own. I usually buy these and pack them up in little individual day packs. That's why I have this. It's obviously a lot more expensive than just buying the big bag of sugar. Couple of other things here too that you've got that are kind of like long term and give you a little bit of a different taste. You've got your blue agave nectar. This is organic. And then honey. A lot of people just use regular granulated sugar in their coffee. But if you have this stuff and you don't have sugar and you're in a supply situation, but you have these somewhere in a cabinet, these work in coffee just the same. They work just as good. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is for those of you that have got to have flavored coffee, maybe you can handle or can't handle regular coffee that doesn't have any flavoring in it, but you got to have like this one's a hazelnut. I don't know, these are my wife's, so I'm not sure what they all are. This is cinnamon sugar cookie. If you're ever in a situation where you only have regular flavored coffee on hand, whether it's decaf or regular, whichever one, and there's no flavoring to add, you're really jonesing for a French vanilla. One of the things that you can buy, I'll put an image right up on the screen right now. The image that you just saw is the Torani brand flavored syrup. There's all kinds of brands of flavored syrups out there, but the Torani brand flavored syrups, you can get so many flavors. They're like $4.99, typically priced at Kroger, Meijer, Walmart, Target, whatever. They have so many flavors, but just to name a few, they have vanilla, salted caramel, pumpkin spice, hazelnut. So you can get a plastic bottle or a glass bottle of the Torani syrups, and they last a long time on the shelf. So I recommend you stocking up on a couple of those. I don't have any right now. I'm probably going to go stock up on maybe a hazelnut and a French vanilla because they last a long time, and we do like them to flavor our coffees occasionally. I generally just drink Folgers decaf instant every morning with a couple of sugars in it. I got off of the caffeine a few years ago, and it's been good for me because the caffeine actually upsets my stomach. But occasionally I do mix a little bit of regular and decaf to make kind of a half calf, so that's an option for you out there as well. But occasionally I do want like a flavored coffee. Obviously we can buy the flavored creamers, but in a shortage or in a situation where your electricity is down and your power's out, you're gonna be using this. This is a regular creamer here, powdered creamer, and some cold water to cool the coffee down. To put some flavor in it, I do recommend that Torani or any of the brands of flavored coffee syrups that you can find just about anywhere. So yeah, I think that just about does it. Oh, one more note on the Torani syrups. If you can find them in the glass bottles, that's better because even though the shelf life might be the same on the plastic and the glass bottle, or it might not, the plastic does tend to go a little bit faster because I don't think it's the syrup that has the best by date. It's the plastic that actually will leach into the syrup. So you're better off with the glass bottles. I know the glass bottles last around 3 years. That's if you don't open it, it's probably going to last a bit longer than that. I'm not an expert on Torani syrups, for example, but I think the shelf life, if it says 3 years, I think and it says a best by date, I would have no qualms about opening one up that was 4 or 5 years old. I think it would be totally fine. And you're adding it to hot coffee too. So, but yeah, if you get the plastic ones, I know they last a little bit less. They probably last more like 2 years, I think, are generally the dates that I've seen on them. But yeah, go with the syrups for your flavored coffees. I've given you some ideas on how to stock up for free, right? When your company's paying for all this coffee and these things end up just getting thrown away. Unfortunately, I haven't seen stevia packets because that's really expensive. And the Sweet and Low and the Splenda and whatever this is, the Equal, I'm not big on those, but I'll still have them here because other people might want them when they visit us, or who knows, if the situation ever comes to where the world's out of sugar, I guess I would resort to these if I had to. So, Let me know your thoughts and any other ideas that you have, guys, as far as long-term coffee situation. So everything that I have here is dated a couple years out. Um, Coffee does last a pretty long time. I mean, it tends to go a little bit stale, but it doesn't go really bad if you keep it, in a freezer or none. These are not open, right? This is going to last a long time. And when I open one of these, it lasts me a few months. So, I've easily got a year's worth of coffee just sitting just right here. I mean, if you throw that in there as well, mix this in. I've got over a year supply here just for me. My wife, she's got, I don't know, 50 or 100 of these things. I would very easily, and if a situation ever came to be where I knew that coffee was looking like it was going to be shorted, I'd go buy her, a couple of large tubs of regular coffee just because I know it would last us. So, and probably some more. I'd probably stock up on some more of this as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, any other ideas that you come up with here to kind of supplement what I've laid out for you here. But these things are attainable for free. Literally, they throw you extra sugars in the bag when you go to a place like Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. They throw you extra sugars in the bag. Keep them. Don't throw them away. Keep the stirs. Keep the lids. Keep the extra cups when you go to when you host a conference or a meeting. That stuff can all come in handy. Get yourself a French press. This is a Mr. Coffee brand French press. I don't think it was very expensive. You can actually even find them sometimes in like resale shops as well. And stock up on some instant. It'll last in your cupboard for a couple years. For the $5-6 that you pay for this at Walmart or Meijer, it's really not bad. I mean, it's what I drink every day. So, beggars can't be choosers. If there's a situation where you're short in supply and you've got this in the cabinet and you're running out and you're not finding it on the shelves anywhere, this is going to go a long way. Trust me on that. Trust me, it's better than not having it. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, please like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, share these videos with other people, and hit that notification bell. I'm trying to grow the channel. I'm trying to get more videos up all the time now too. So, and thanks for your past support.